We really need to add more fish into our diets. And I think one of the ways to do that is to really make fish more tasty. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take some salmon and we're going to make it absolutely incredibly awesome so that it's a dish that we look forward to. It's super awesome to have you stop by. I'm Mike and you're at Delmarva Backyard. If you don't know, I do a lot of videos on food, specifically a lot of barbecue, but I also do videos on beer and product reviews. So if you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button down below. The American Heart Association recommends that we eat fish at least 2 times a week. That's at least 2 times a week. Now I'm speaking for myself. I only eat fish maybe, I don't know, it's definitely less than 1 time a week. In the comments below, tell me how many times you think you have fish per week. If we eat fish the way we're supposed to eat fish, they're loaded with incredible vitamins and nutrients that our body needs, including omega-3 fatty acids. They're gonna do an incredible job for our bodies to reduce our risk of heart attack, lower our cholesterol, and our blood pressure. I think a lot of times people are fearful of contaminants, and specifically mercury. I think really it's unjustified. The fish that are prone to mercury buildup are fish like shark and mackerel and tuna. And they're, it's more of the deep sea fish. So unless you're eating a whole lot of those fish, mercury just isn't a problem. If we're eating other fish like salmon and whitefish, then it's just not an issue. We need to be eating our fish at least 2 times a week, and it is going to make us live longer. So here's the salmon right out of the refrigerator with the brine still on it. And I'm gonna have a link to the video of the brining process later in the video, so look for that. I'll put that up above. What we need to do now is rinse the brine off the salmon, put some seasoning on it. We're just gonna real gently rinse the salmon off, get all that salt and seasoning off of there. We need to dry it off and get it in the refrigerator so we can start forming what they call the pellicle. And the pellicle is basically like a sticky substance that forms on the outside of the fish. It's going to allow it to absorb a lot of flavor, mainly the smoke flavor coming from the smoker. We're going to put it back in the refrigerator for about an hour. All right, so when it comes to salmon, we want to keep it somewhat simple. We're going to go with a little bit of dill. Dill is going to give us a nice little herbal component. It's a milder herb, but it's going to give us just a nice little herbal component. And then I'm just going with salt and pepper, coarse salt and pepper. And this is about a mixture of 60% pepper, 40% salt. And now we're going to top it with a little brown sugar. You hear that? It's February, but it's 73 degrees here on Delmarva, and that is pretty crazy. And apparently the frogs know it, so that's pretty loud. But it's a sign of nice warm weather. I love it. It's time to get the Rectech fired up. Salmon needs to be smoked low and slow. And that's what we need to do. We need to smoke the salmon somewhere around 200 degrees and bring it up nice and slow. So let's get the Rectech fired up. The Rectech's real simple to fire up, and it's a perfect machine for smoking fish because it's very, very consistent. Just gonna push the power button, adjust the LCD temperature to where you wanna go, And it has a feature called the extreme smoke feature. We're gonna push that, and it's gonna start coming up to temperature. Okay, so it's time to go ahead and get our salmon on the grill. We're at 200. And that's it. We're just gonna let the Rectac work its magic from here on out. It's gonna take a couple of hours. We're gonna slowly bring the salmon up to 145 degrees internal temperature. It's been an hour. I'm gonna give you a peek at it. Let's go outside and check it out. There we go. Let's check it out. Boy, look at that nice pretty color. Don't tune away from the video because I got a big tip coming up for you at the end. A lot of people have a big misconception about cooking salmon. I'm gonna tell you what it is. Let's take a look at this salmon. All right, so we're gonna stick our instant read right in the part of the thickest, I'm gonna stick it right in the thickest part of the fish. You can see how I have this split right here. Now I don't wanna stick it in there because that's not the thickest part of the fish, but I am gonna stick it right about here. And keep in mind the tip of the thermometer is where it's taking the temperature. And I'm at 146, 147, 148, 150. I am done. All right, let's try this salmon out. I can tell you, it just smells phenomenal. I got a tip for you here in a second. That's good stuff, let me tell you. On top there's just this really, really thin layer of dry, smoky wonderfulness. But just under that is all this moist, it's just like a flavor bomb of salmon. It is just absolutely wonderful. From the brown sugar, there's this sticky glaze that, I mean, it's just, you gotta try this. I'm telling you, it's absolutely incredible. The tip, when you're cooking salmon, cook your fish, or cook salmon specifically, to where you see that white ooze or that white stuff coming up out of the little crevices of the fish. That's a bad thing. That means you've overcooked or cooked your fish too hot. You don't want the white ooze or the white stuff. Stay away from it. Cook your salmon low and slow. Ease it up to temperature, you know, nice and easy, and you won't have that. You don't want that because that means you've cooked your fish too hot. It's probably gonna be dry and it's lost a lot of flavor. I really appreciate you sticking around to watch the whole video. Check out these other videos over here. You may very well be interested in those also. The inspiration behind the videos is your feedback. And the best way to give me your feedback is to hit the like button down below Most importantly, hit the subscribe button down below, and you can also leave comments. I can't wait to see you next time.